Had a fire at 75 this morning. Thank you, Council. It is 12:30 on Thursday, July 16th, 2026, and I will call this emergency meeting of the Barre City Council to order. Council or manager, any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order.
So moved.
Thank you. And moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I should have noted, we do have a quorum in council chambers, and we have Councilors Guston and Deering joining us remotely. So council, next item on the agenda is the appointment of an acting city manager. That will be Brad Vale. That will be effective at 4:30 p.m. on July 17th, 2026, so don't be late. Motion to approve would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded. Just a little bit beforehand, first of all, council, thank you for indulging me. So to give those who may watch this meeting or who are watching the meeting now, a little bit of background. The proposal to appoint Brad Vale as acting city manager was floated a couple months ago by the city manager after consulting with the department heads. I wasn't, honestly, I wasn't entirely, it's not that I wasn't comfortable with it. Councilor, let the record reflect that Councilor Spalding joined us. I wasn't entirely comfortable with it. I had some due diligence that I wanted to do. So working with Councilor Guston, we came up with a plan B. We spoke to approximately a dozen individuals who we thought would be qualified, if needed, to step in as an interim city manager. So we settled on a candidate if that was the direction we wanted to take. And after the discussion came to the council, I realized, or just before the council meeting, I realized that as much as I had faith in the department heads, I had not had the ability to speak with them face to face. And I wanted that opportunity. So after the council meeting, again, thank you for indulging me today. At 8:30 Wednesday morning, I met with the department heads. We talked through the plan. Councilor Guston was there as well. We talked through the plan pretty thoroughly, and it became clear to me that they really wanted the opportunity to step up. And, the way I manage when people want the opportunity to do more, my biggest concern was simply, I understand how busy the city manager is. My biggest and only concern was it reasonable on the part of the council and the part of the city to consider that the department heads could absorb those duties of the city manager and still keep the train running on time and on the tracks. And so after speaking with them, first of all, thank you for that meeting to all of the department heads, and receiving that assurance and talking through some things in great detail, and receiving the assurance that I needed that this plan would work. We decided as a council that we would move forward with the plan as presented. I just have to say that part of my decision-making process is always, okay, if I have to make a decision, I'm not quite comfortable with either one, which one is easier to walk back? And it kind of became, and I made it clear to the department heads that we would be paying attention, as a council. The communication has been great under Nicholas. I wanted that to continue. So I made it clear, number one, that if they needed help, we're just a phone call away. We can implement a plan B. And most importantly, I made it clear to them, just in the interest of fairness, that we'd be watching. And if we saw things coming off the rails, we could certainly implement a plan B, but we would not do that without speaking to them first. So thank you, Nicholas, for presenting the plan. Thank you, most importantly, to our department heads for being willing to take on the additional responsibilities. And thanks, Brad Vail, for leaving your cell phone on after midnight, because that's what you're going to have. That's what you're going to have to do. So, Council, I don't know if anyone has any comments that you'd like to offer, or you have any questions. Yes.
So, can I see that plan? I mean, the one you guys.
Can you see the? Yeah. Well, you can see the order. I mean, who that doesn't
at the meeting.
What's that?
What you guys discussed at the meeting that.
I mean, I went through things like, okay, who is going to answer the phone during the day? In other words, when people call and normally they'd be looking for the city manager, how is that going to be handled? So what's going to happen is those calls are going to come into the clerk's office, which currently about 75% of our calls do anyway, and then they will triage the call and direct the call to the appropriate department head. So if they're calling about an issue with Public Works, they're going to get sent to Brian. If it's an issue with public safety, they're going to get sent to the chief. Councilor, we discussed a lot of things. In addition to Chief Vail, who currently serves, as you know, as Chief of Police, one of the questions I had is, okay, so even if it's only 10 hours or 15 hours where your attention needs to be directed, how is that going to impact your duties as Chief of Police? So thank you, Chief, for having the Deputy Chief there. And Deputy Chief gave me assurances that he was willing to step up as well. He understood that there would be times when the chief would be unavailable or pulled away, and he is absolutely willing to pick up that slack.
Does the interim manager, Chief Vail, does he reside here at certain times, or does he reside continuously at the
Chief Vail lives outside of the city.
No, I mean, where does he have will he take an office up here part-time or not?
I mean, he could. The manager's office, if he wants to hold a meeting, I doubt. We didn't get into those specifics, Counselor, but so I'm going to wing it here, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong. If acting as city manager, the acting city manager needs to host a meeting, I suspect he would do that here in City Hall. He would not bring them down to public safety. That creates a whole host of other issues.
And Mayor, if I can speak a little briefly. So we had a test run with this system for about 3 weeks when I was in Australia earlier this year. And while I was not here, I heard from a lot of people who work in this building and in Alumni Hall that Chief Vail was making rounds frequently. He's in this building several times a day on regular business anyway for meetings. I know that people were happy. I heard from people who were pleased that when I was away, he was making rounds around the building, so similar to the way I do. And I would imagine that that's something that'll continue.
That was my next question. Thank you. Really, I was going to say the last time.
Listen, it's going to be a little different, and like I said, any reservation I have is not with the ability or dedication of the department heads. I want to make that crystal clear. The only reservation that still lingers is this is an incredibly difficult job. It's an incredibly busy job. And is it wise to put more responsibilities on folks who are already working hard? They have assured me. That's why I wanted to sit with them and look them in the eyes and say, you sure you got this, and you sure you want this? Yeah. And, we have arguably, people could argue with me, but as I look at the department heads that we currently have in the city, whether it's the treasurer's office, God, like trying to strike me with lightning or something, whether it's the treasurer's office, the clerk's office, any of our department heads, I've been doing this a long time. I have served as mayor for a long time. And arguably, we have probably the best leadership team here in City Hall that I've ever seen. And when folks want the opportunity to step up and want the opportunity to do something for their city, I give it to them.
I just want to publicly announce that I have no disrespect for Chief Vail. My concern also is he has a big job now, and then now having to fill another large one. But with what you're saying with our department heads, if it's all 100% accurate that they are 100% behind him, then I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, and like I said, it went a long way. I hadn't thought of it, quite frankly, and Chief Vale thought of it and had Deputy Chief Eastman there. So that, when I talked about those concerns, Deputy Chief Eastman was quick to step up and say, I understand, and I understand that I'm going to have to contribute too. I'm going to have to work a little harder too, and we've talked about that, and that happens anyway. If the chief is on vacation or the chief is in training or whatever, he said, look, that happens anyway, so I'm prepared to do that.
I've worked with Deputy Chief Eastman in the past, and I respect him totally, so. that's
Absolutely.
good.
So, and just to touch on the time frame a little bit, Councilor Guston, jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. Councilor Guston anticipates that her committee will have the city council in a position to make an offer, hopefully, but if things continue as they're going, mid-September, Councilor?
Mid-September, I feel very confident about. I think we could even be there earlier in September.
Yeah. So, so that could go two ways. I have a lot of confidence in the ability of the committee to put us in a position to tender an offer on September 15th or thereabouts. We don't know who the candidates are yet. So we could very well have a candidate, the perfect candidate, who says, look, I can't start until after January 1st. Now, where I'll come down on that is I would choose perfect over convenient any day of the week. So if we had a candidate that couldn't start until January 1st, we may very well have to revisit this decision, but as I explained to the department heads, they will be a part of it. So, nothing is set in stone. Like I said before, I appreciate how the department heads want to step up and how they want to see this city run, and I have faith in them. So I will be supporting the motion. And anyone else have anything else to offer? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, the motion carries. And a motion to adjourn would be in order. Thank you. And a second. All those in favor, we are adjourned.
So moved.
Too late, we are adjourned.
Aye.